Hello, we are in Santiago de Compostela at the end of the way, the Camino de Santiago. We are with Stephen Emerman, an associate professor of hydrology.
Now I'm retired,
Oh, are
and
you
I'm a
retired?
full-time consultant in mining and groundwater.
Oh, excellent, excellent. So you're here visiting us because you were invited
Right.
from the platform Mina Todo Pino Non and also Contaminación. And you were able to visit the areas. The neighbors are very concerned about the projects, the open pit copper mine project in Toro Pino. And also you were in Noya and San Fens
Right.
and in Rio Tinto, as
Right.
I. So how is your experience like here? How was
Okay.
this? How was the experience?
Okay. Well, my experience in Spain has been very good. So it's my first time in Spain. My family was expelled from Spain in 1492, and it's great to be back.
Oh, excellent. What do you think about the situation with the mining projects here?
Okay. Well, there's many mines in Spain. Okay, so I'm not commenting on mining in Spain in general. Um, I'm kind of a specialist in sick mining projects. I'm kind of like a doctor of mining. So usually when a community organization or city hall, whenever the community asks me to inspect the security of a mine, usually they're well aware that there's a lot of problems. Okay. So I probably have seen, in terms of mining, I probably have seen the worst that Spain has to offer, both in terms of operating mines and past mines and mining projects. Okay, and that's just a consequence of the fact that it was a community that's so concerned that they invited me.
What are your thoughts about the Mina Toro Pino, for example, and the project? How is in terms of security?
Oh, okay. Well, I'll start from the beginning. Okay,
Yes.
okay. So the first thing is to consider the proximity of the proposed mine and the population. And the most important part of the proposed mine in terms of safety is the dam that holds back the mine tailings. Okay. Hopefully, everyone knows now about the disaster in Brazil in January. It certainly was not the first failure of a tailings dam, but um, it really caught a lot of people's attention. The flow of tailings traveled at 160 kilometers per hour and killed 300 people. So that caught a lot of people's attention, especially because there was a failure of a tailings dam by the same company 4 years earlier in the same state in Brazil. So there was new legislation in Brazil and introduced a very important concept which people need to know about. In Portuguese, they say a zona de autosalvamento. In English, we'd say the self-rescue zone. And it means the zone in which no one's going to come from outside and save you. It's the zone in which everybody had better save himself. Okay, which is really saying that there's going to be no survivors in this zone. And that zone extends 10 kilometers downstream from a dam along the course of the valley, okay? Or it's the zone that the flood of tailings could reach in 30 minutes, whichever is greater. Okay, so 10 kilometers or 30 minutes, no one's going to come save you. Okay, and so right now in Brazil, it's illegal to build a dam or increase the height of a dam when there's a population in the self-rescue zone. It's just illegal. It's not a matter of making it safe, it's just don't do it. Okay? I like this legislation, okay? It's very progressive, okay? But as now we consider the situation of the project total, okay? So I stood in the streets in Arintero, that's the closest village, and I can look up at the slope at a line of trees where the dam's gonna be, 200 meters. It's like ridiculous, okay? When we were speaking Spanish, I said I didn't know the right Spanish word, and in English I feel like I still don't know how to describe this kind of thinking, okay? It's just outside of the range of thinking of any rational person to build a dam 200 meters from a community up a slope, okay? I mean, the dam could simply just fall on the village, okay? I mean, actually, they say that no matter what you do, there could be simply a slide of the dam that could be 10 times its height. Well, it's a dam 80-meter size, the height of this cathedral. So that can fall and slide 800 meters, okay? And this village would be covered completely, everybody dead, in seconds. Okay, in seconds, this village would be a cemetery, okay? But even looking at downstream, you have the larger village of Losho downstream 1,000 meters. Okay, it's not a question of how do you make it safe. Just don't do it. Okay, you know, don't build dams so close to where people live. Okay, that's the first thing. Okay, but then kind of more important is that, you know, for example, most countries in the world have design criteria for dams, especially when the failure would put a population at risk, okay? So the standard criteria are you design for what's called the maximum probable flood. That's the greatest flood that's possible in a certain area. And the maximum credible earthquake is the strongest earthquake possible in a certain area. Okay, that's the first step. That's step 0. You don't do anything to establish those criteria of safety. Okay, but now I read the entire environmental impact statement. I think I've read every document from the company about this project, every page. And there's no consideration of these concepts, especially no consideration of the probable maximum flood or even the design flood. This dam is designed for what? There's no mention. There's no mention of anything, okay? So they haven't taken the most basic first steps in terms of how do you protect the safety of the people who live in this area, okay? And I feel like to show no consideration for the community is like, is this a company that has no values of any kind? Nothing matters to them?
Well, your presence here was involved in some polemic because the company Cobres and Rafael was attacking your
Right.
statements.
Right.
What do you think about it?
Well, okay, so I've just read what's in the newspapers, okay? They've said that my arguments are ideological, but there's nothing in my reports that's ideological. All I've done is compare their documents with standard safety guidelines. Okay, there's nothing ideological about that, okay? There's nothing ideological about mine safety, okay? The most conservative, better mining engineer, that's going to be his first concern, his or her first concern is about safety. They do always mention that I'm American. Like somehow that's supposed to be the most important thing. That has nothing to do with anything where I'm from. Okay, anybody from any country can take their documents and compare them with standard safety guidelines and see what they come up with.
Well, I'm sure the platforms are very happy with your presence here. You're very welcome. And I'm sure you will be repeating the experience, I guess.
I hope so. I hope so. I'm very concerned about the mines, but otherwise, I've been very well received in Galicia. And I've given many presentations at universities and community centers, and I've almost lost track of all the places that I've been to, but I've been very well received.
You've been very busy indeed.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much, Stephen.
Okay.
See you anytime.
Okay, thank you.